Good morning. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. It's actually afternoon where I am, 2:30 Eastern today. This is the Heart and Hustle recap. So it's a recap. It's also opinion, my opinion of the show, my opinion of just anything surrounding the show. So that's the little bit Sandra P's Gen Extra that you'll get. This is a new show. This is season one. So season one, Heart and Hustle Houston. This episode is the fifth episode. It's called No New Friends. And it was a pretty good episode. It's so chock full. I don't want to just give too high of expectations, but I actually loved it. They tied up a lot of things, touched a bit more on a lot of things that they have already started from the beginning of the season. So this is Heart and Hustle, season one. It's an own show. This is their fifth episode. We're following these six lovely ladies around Houston. Last week we had one of the main characters that we know. Let me see if I can get that picture up. I entered a different way to YouTube. It's StreamYard. Okay, there we are. But the thing is, I am covering up Chloe, also Latorria. If we can figure that out during the stream, good. If not, these are the six lovely ladies. That's LeBrina. Ro is in the brown dress. Chloe's right behind me in the ivory sweater, which I'm going to figure out how to change that. That's Latorria over my shoulder. Ayana in the bodycon turtleneck, looks like a dress. And Muneera right underneath my brand, the Sandra P's Gen Extra brand. Let me see if I change. That picture only shows two of them. Okay, there's Ro, who was blacked out. That's the same publicity photo. And you see they have her listed as hospitality entrepreneur. She's helped open restaurants. She's done amazing things in her career. So we'll see Latorria Lemon as a part of this episode. No New Friends. During the preview last week, I told y'all that Latorria Lemon she's a little bit messy, I think. I like all the ladies. She's one of the ones that's central to a lot of the other characters. And this episode, we're going to show LeBrina do and be the same thing. It's central to all the characters. Now, we start out where we left off. They're over at MOCA. And what is happening in MOCA, y'all? They are having not even a discussion. It had turned into an argument. And it was the single ladies' night out. So missing from the table was LeBrina, who can be a calming influence or can seem like she can go with anyone if she needs to do that. And also missing was Muneera, because again, this was the single ladies out. Elena was there because she's single adjacent or something. She's been alluding and now outright saying different things happening with herself and Josh. So she was there. And then the new friend that Chloe brought, well, not new friend, but newer acquaintance that we found out Latorria hadn't seen her in 2015, but the lady was really upset about Latorria standing on that point. I don't really know you like that. And then we had the paperwork reach the table, which was a bunch of printed AOL emails or something. I'm not sure. Latorria says she went to Kinko's or somewhere and printed that out. Latorria, you know about Kinko's? Latorria is one of the younger ones on the show. So the aftermath. Ro is yelling about a Timu wig, y'all. Somewhere during the course of that, Sheniqua said, "This is not a wig. This is not a wig." So that's your little straight bob. That's cute. So Latorria is saying, when Sheniqua got out of character, I got my bag, myself, and I left. We hear that in the confessional from Latorria. I can understand that I'm similar. I'm not going to stand in the midst of a storm. But the biggest part of that argument going on between Ro and Latorria was Ro was defending Latorria. So that's why Ro's into it with Sheniqua. So I don't know what you could have done in the heat of the moment, because it was a very heated moment. I can understand Latorria leaving, but I feel like you left your friend that was defending you. You didn't start the argument. You didn't back down from it either, but Ro was defending you. That's the only reason why she and Sheniqua were into it. So they still have all of that going on. Elena has actually come around the table. Elena's a caretaker. She's come around the table. She's had her hand on Ro, trying to calm things. Ro is activated. She's up. She's doing all this. She ended up storming out. As she's leaving, Sheniqua calls her big. I think Sheniqua was called a weirdo, or either that or the fact that all this paperwork was brought out to prove that she knew Latorria. So somewhere along the line, she gets called a weirdo. She calls Ro big. Ro talked about a Timu wig, and it was just a mess, y'all. I wrote, Latorria should have taken Ro with you. This is an adult woman, so you couldn't make her do anyway, but she was defending you. Confessional Chloe, y'all, she laments bringing Sheniqua at all. She said, Sheniqua, what are you doing? I'm really sorry that I even brought Sheniqua. I met her. She met her at the rodeo. Remember, she met her at the Houston rodeo. She was brought back to either a VIP or an area with just the ladies by Latorria, because Sheniqua was very strategic, and they stopped, they spoke, but she kind of latched on until Latorria was walking like, okay, come back here with me. If they have a reunion, I'm sure we'll hear more about it, because this whole big thing blowing up from just a chance meeting or re-meeting is unnecessary. But here's a little bit of drama that some of the people were looking for. So Confessional Chloe is upset that she even brought Sheniqua. Take that as a lesson, Chloe. I don't care how fun you think somebody is. You have to read the room, read your group of friends, which is a friend that had just come off of a therapy session, and then adding this new person because you thought she was fun. And I asked you last week, what made her fun? Because I don't know what Sheniqua's motives were. I don't think any of them were good. We have a scene where Muneera and Latorria meet at a place called Marvino's. I can tell you, when these ladies meet, I love the way that they look at each other, take each other in, and compliment each other. So Latoria's in a cute zebra print dress, and Muneera's complimenting her. And Latorria said, I love the red. So you've already course corrected. Nothing about cutesy or none of that. They compliment each other, smile, genuinely happy to see each other, even though they have had a little something before. So we get Latorria saying, I woke up feeling like zebra. They sit down. And then later on, the rest of the ladies join. So we end up with Ro also coming, Chloe, Alaina, and LeBrina. And then Latorria says, we'll get to the mess, because that's what, remember, there were ladies that were not there. So we need to fill in LeBrina and Muneera. Latorria said, we'll get to the mess, but I have good news. She didn't say good news, but I like that she's putting the good news first. I'm planning something, and it is for trailblazers, women that are trailblazing in their career or in just their life. So she has decided that two of the group, she's going to include in a group of, there are 20 trailblazers. And what I do like also, we get to see an event that Latorria talks about, is planning, and then we see it brought to fruition during this episode. Hopefully we'll see some of that from Chloe, who is the wedding planner. We've been to the Color du Jour studio. Now we find out during the episode that Elena wants to, one of the bucket list things is to do makeup for Beyonce. So she's much more than a celebrity makeup artist, even though she's worked on celebrities. There's a brand that she's working on, Color du Jour. So Elena is doing big things as well. Janetta Speaks, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the live, Heart and Hustle Live. Sharon, hello. Thank you for coming in to Heart and Hustle Live. She came in speaking to everyone. This is the live recap. So I like when these ladies sit down together. But she first talks about the Breaking Barriers award that she's going to give to two of them in the group. She announces that it is Ro and also Elena. I had wondered about that, giving an award. Not that anybody deserves a participation trophy. Everybody is doing something in the group. Any of them really could have received it. I do like the choices. But I was wondering about trailblazing. I think Muneera is a trailblazer as well. So to pivot from 20 years as an electrical engineer, a field that is 90% men, and then leave that, and now she is a content creator, I think she is breaking barriers as well. But I love the two choices that she did. And we got a chance we're going to see her plan an event and then we have the actual event that they'll film it. So Latorria introduced the good news first, telling about the ladies. Then they started to rehash what happened at MOCA. So we get to see LeBrina reacting and also Muneera reacting. Muneera is shocked that it actually came to that someone was brought into the group by one of the group to attack the group. Those are my words. Muneera didn't say that. She was shocked about what happened. She said, I'm shocked that Ro ended up walking away, because I know once they heard that this lady called Ro out of her name, called her a B for what? I don't know why she jumped up still and called this lady a ish. It did get heated. It got heated over the paperwork, which was weird. It's from 2014 or 2015. That was kind of strange to prove. And then Chloe is a person, she does want to mend fences, but Chloe, you were the one that caused this rift and damage. So yeah, you should mend, but I'm not sure bringing Sheniqua back into the fold is going to be the right thing to do. I could see less of Sheniqua. I could see less of Sheniqua, y'all. I'm not sure why this ever happened, why she was introduced. It did not come out right. We'll see that they're going to have another sit down. The only ones that want to sit down, Ro has said that she will. Latorria said something I agree with. She said, I'm not anxious, or I'm not willing to sit down with her. After she jumped up, and the fact that she wants to prove so hard that she know me, I don't know that I want to be around someone like that. I have to agree with Latorria on that, because that was a point that she really had to press. Do you know me or do you not know me? And then we find out later that there's a reason why she thinks she's doing that, but I don't like it. So Confessional Chloe admitted that she felt really bad bringing Sheniqua. They start out with Latorria telling what happened. Ro interjects and tells us from her side of it, because even though it was Latorria and Sheniqua confirms later that it was aimed at Latorria and the paperwork, but Ro was the one that got activated because she is a defender of her friends. We're going to hear more of that from Ro. You remember Ro's preteen, Sophia. She has a bullying incident that she was going through. We think it's resolved, hope it's resolved, but everybody has their own, whatever it is, stuff that they bring to different scenarios. That was another reason why it was dangerous for Chloe to bring someone that she didn't really know into a midst of friends where they're growing as friends. All of them have something going on. We're getting to know the six. We didn't need Sheniqua in here with this foolishness. Rose says she cried on the way home because she used to be able to go off. We could see that. I'm saying what, in my words, what Ro actually said, that she considered herself new Ro. The way that she would have reacted in the past to someone with her hands in her face, calling her out of her name, calling her the B word, and Ro had not done any of that first. And Muneera she said, you did good. All of the ladies, Elena agreed, you did good. Ro said she cried. She doesn't want to be seen as, oh, that's the old Ro. And you people will spread a story of a fight like that, she said, and this is a Black establishment. So remember, y'all, MOCA is owned by, I think they said 4 Black men. There were a lot of Black men there that night at the event. So that is something that and Chloe even said, I don't do that in public. I was embarrassed. All of them should have been embarrassed. They should have. But Ro handled that the best way that she could handle it with what she was presented with. Sheniqua was dead wrong. Chloe was wrong to bring her. So we find out during the course of that, we're going to get another meeting. Ro agrees to sit down with Sheniqua. Elena compliments her reaction. You did good. And LeBrina pipes in and said, you did damn good. I'm proud of you. I love that about LeBrina. She will pipe in. She wasn't even there and give life. And Muneera wasn't there either. But they jumped right in to defend Ro, her reactions, what she did. Latorria, Latorria did leave. Now, Latorria, you're the one that actually started this. Thank you, Sharon God, but Sheniqua. Sheniqua is the one that was causing this conflict and was a guest to the group. So we have Latoria's leaving early. I love the fact that she's dressed up to go meet her sisters, both her sisters, this group of friends, and her sister. And I think there are 2 of them. I call them both her sisters. They're going to honor her dad. They're going to a comedy show. So as she gets up to leave, Muneera was saying that that's so nice to honor him. They're always thinking of different ways to honor people when they're no longer here. Latorria says she's ready to let loose her curls, and they're just looking at her because she does look nice. They said, you know, you already started. So Latorria shimmies her way out the door to the ladies cheering. I love this, that they can get into it and they can come back together, and things are going to happen. It might be a little bit messy, but hopefully we won't see them deliberately hurting each other or throwing people into the mix that's going to kind of stir up this delicate mix and cause damage that they can't fix. Anything now between these 6 that have happened, they can fix, and they want to fix. Sharon Gobble saying, what I'm thinking, Sheniqua's not needed on that show at all. I'd like to see this be the last time we see her, even with her scene that we'll have later. I don't want to see it. Elena and her gorgeous mother have a visit, and we see one of the kids that they have a son and daughter, little Josh and little Elena. They're sitting at the kitchen table. He's recounting where he came in he's a track star. So he came in second on one of the distances. He came in third on another one. So Elena's complimenting him. She said, I'm proud of you. So I love that. I love to see parents tell their children that they're proud of them, because I know for a lot of us in a certain age group, I'm Gen X, I'm in my 50s, that wasn't something that would always happen with children, where parents would tell you, I'm proud of you. My father was really good about that. He would tell us he was proud of us. Later in my mother's life, she did that too. But Elena is talking about something during the course of her son's events that he had at school, track. She's proud of him. I think that's important. We'll see later, Elena's mother comes in. She is beautiful. Y'all, we see why Elena is Miss Button Down. The presentation is going to be perfect. We don't know what's going on behind those eyes. We suspect a lot of pain, but the presentation is going to be perfect, okay? So we see that. The one, she walks in the door. She doesn't like to be called grandma or granny or any of that. I think they were calling her knee or something like that. So we get a confessional with Elena. She talks more about her career, her brand, the fact that she was 15 years old. She would beat all her friends' faces. So they'd come to her house. She'd apply makeup for them for events or just for whatever the day. But she's using her own products on them. So the mother asked her, because they would have a lot of foot traffic in the house of friends getting their makeup done. Her mother asked her, and Elena was only 15, are you getting paid? And she said, no, they're not paying me. These are my friends. This is what I do. And mother's like, you're using your own makeup. You're taking your time. She got her business cards. Now that's pouring life into someone. And that is amazing. So this is a brand that had birthed just from the mother seeing talent in her child. And Elena says that in a confessional too, that I was 15 years old and my mother saw something in me that I didn't even see. So I like the fact that a business was encouraged from something that she loves to do. So the mother and she are talking. We find out that some of the celebrities' makeup that she has done, she did one of Beyonce's family recently, but on the vision board is Beyonce. So of course that can happen. Beyonce's a Houston girl. I'm sure she has her own artists, but they all keep people in rotation. They have a lot of different events. They're in a lot of cities all over the world. So we would love to see when that happens for Elena. Elena's keeping a journal. She's asking deep questions of her mother as well. A lot of this, I'm sure, is for the cameras, but I love the fact that the cameras could encourage conversation between the mother and Elena. And I didn't know at first with the show how to introducing Elena, and we are reading different things behind her eyes and what she says. Something's going on with her and Josh. The separate rooms thing. She does always seem like she's on the verge of tears or that she's upset. So we find out little things that she's sharing with us. The mother is going to sit down. They're sitting down and Elena's asking her a question. We find out during the course of their conversation that the mother was married to Elena's father. They were having problems because this is what they're saying on the show. I'll run a banner just because I'm talking about people. So this is, and it's allegedly, and in my opinion, but the conversation they were having is that he was an alcoholic And the mother didn't want Elena to be around that. Elena talks about her friends, what the group of ladies do for her, the fact that self-care was not just introduced, but that her friends encourage her that she needs self-care. She's entitled to self-care. The mother said, I didn't know anything about being able to take time to do any of that. Of course, the mother is very well put together. She's beautiful. She probably always took care of herself, but I can see why with an alcoholic husband, raising a child, how she didn't have time, felt like she didn't have time to self-care. And Elena lets her know that just watching her and the way she dealt with the father until she left, that taught her to kind of sweep things under the rug. She wants to appear perfect. No one's perfect, but she likes to be able to appear that she is. So even though Elena tells us, even though Josh cheated on her before they ever even married, so this is during the course of the engagement, he's cheated. She felt like, well, a lot of women go through this, or most women go through this. She's just going to suck it up. She used those terms that she had to suck it up and marry him anyway. So if those were problems that they're still having, and they alluded to the fact that this is what was going on, the fact that she doesn't trust him, she got married knowing that. So that was kind of sad, and it came from the mother. Elena's telling the mother they don't sit down and talk. The mom's claiming it's not because I don't want to. And Elena said, you make time for what you want to do. So I like the conversation that they had. It went on pretty long. It ends with the mother saying, I love you. Elena's like, we're going to normalize that. We'll start saying, I love you to each other. So I'm proud of what the mother is able to do with Elena, and what she's allowing Elena to do. Because I have one of those mothers, rest in peace to her, but she would keep her cards very close to the chest. And she was a fountain of information. So any way you can pry information from someone that you need to get it from, do that. I like this scene with Elena. I appreciate her sitting down talking to her mother. So, and I'm sorry, y'all, if the comments get frozen, I'll come back and answer them. So we get a confessional with Latorria telling us of women's history in the making. It's a Trailblazer Award. She's honoring 20 women. And 2 of the group she's have already told us is going to be honored. Alaina and Ro. Muneera is breaking barriers as well. But we have Elena and Ro. All the group is groundbreaking. When I see LeBrina on that ranch, and then also everything that she's doing as far as she is a mother of a teen. We get to meet the other little girl during these scenes. So this is pretty good. We find out that Ro and Elena are really excited that Latorria is going to honor them. So Chloe is saying that the ladies at the table are owed an apology. Remember, they were sitting down. I'm sorry, I skipped that other scene, but we'll go back to where they were they talked about they were honoring those 2, and then they went back to what happened. Chloe wants the ladies that were there to get an apology from Sheniqua. She can't believe she did that. We find out Latorria is not open to meeting with Sheniqua again. I have to agree with that. I mean, sometimes you just move forward. If it had been with any of the 6 that had words like that and they need to hash things out, I understand. But Sheniqua was so close to the group, I wouldn't really go back and try to repair with her. Okay, so we have LeBrina and Winter, which is LeBrina's little daughter, beautiful little girl. She's being pushed on a swing, and Chloe is walking up. Chloe's walking up, and she is happy to see LeBrina. Her and LeBrina have gotten close after this therapy session. We hear from Chloe that LeBrina is one of the ladies that, for what it is she's going through, she wants to talk to LeBrina about it. Because remember, LeBrina has this teen son. Chloe has Nico, who's only 24 years old. He's kind of stuck maybe in a teen space. He's still living at home. We'll find out later, again, that he wants to be a rapper. He hasn't made moves toward that lately, but he has just lost No, who was Chloe's husband and his father figure, and his sister's father. He lost him as well. So that whole family is grieving, but we find out later they're kind of grieving separately and not really utilizing each other the way that they should. This is another really good scene that's coming up. So Chloe's telling LeBrina that her talking about her experience as a teen mom. Now, we know that LeBrina is one of the youngest of the group, but she was 19 years old when she had her son, Pop. And Chloe went through similar things. She was 19 when she had Nico. So they have a lot of things in common. And hearing from Chloe tell us what LeBrina was going through, I do see there's going to be a special bond between these two ladies. Chloe correctly, I feel like correctly took advice that LeBrina was giving her regarding her son Nico. Instead of, she first tried to go do what I thought Jordan said. You know, he need tough love and he need to be a man and all this kind of stuff. All of that is true, but right now Nico needed some love. And LeBrina is talking to her, give him that mother love. We find out that Chloe hasn't said I love you to Nico. She doesn't even know if Nico knows how valuable he is, how special he is, how much of a rock he was to her during the whole family's loss. So LeBrina's like, tell him. And as Chloe is saying, well, I can't get in his head and figure out what's going on. LeBrina's like, don't try to get in his head. Just talk to him, tell him. So I love the fact that these two friends are talking to each other. I have on here, different friends do suit different needs. There is a delicate balance. That's why it's so dangerous for Chloe to introduce Sheniqua to this group, especially at that time. So hopefully we won't see too much more of this. Chloe and LeBrina discuss Nico, how to deal with what's going on with Nico. Pop I feel like he's a typical 15-year-old. LeBrina is rightfully concerned because he's at that age where he can go either way. He's having exposure to two different households. She sees a pattern of where when he's with the father, he's not as disciplined as he is when he is with LeBrina and Will. We find out, we see Pop, he's in the car with LeBrina. She's picking him up from school, he's giving those one-word answers. How was school? Good. How are things going? Fine. So he's doing that teen boy thing, and she's a little bit worried about it because she knows that he can get good grades and do all of his social activities and still keep the grades up because he's done it before. And now that he's selected, he wants to be spread between two homes, it's not really going as well as it could. And he's at a critical time in his life at 15. And Will is an NFL veteran. He played in the league 10 years. So that exposure can only be a good thing, in my opinion. So I can understand LeBrina wanting him there. Chloe is saying that she feels like she lacks structure in her house. That's something that she admires about LeBrina. LeBrina has structure in her life. I do like the way Chloe, if she finds something to compliment in a person, she freely does that. It's so important to have friends that hype you up and recognize the good in you. Chloe does that frequently. I really like that. She said she doesn't feel like she has structure in her house, but LeBrina has structure. Is that they discuss the boys. So I thought that was really interesting. Chloe's crying. She said she felt horrible. She felt like she overlooked Nico. We get a confessional with her where she feels like she was a bad mom. Chloe is not a bad mom. I'm glad I'm not on X. I hear that some of these commentary toward Chloe is pretty terrible. She's not a bad mom. That whole family is grieving and she's struggling through, but because she's willing to be in therapy and willing to meet with friends that have experienced similar or just have their own life situation that may be similar, I actually love that about Chloe. So LeBrina recognized they didn't grieve together. And she just says, show him that mother love, talk to him, let him know how important, how valued he is. And another thing I put down is that I don't want Chloe to belittle him. Again, we see a later scene where she does encourage his art. He wants to be a rapper. Oh, there was a funny part of this where LeBrina says, okay, if you feel like, because remember the advice that she got from Jordan was he need to be a man, all this kind of stuff. LeBrina saying, well, you may need to take a step back. Chloe said, from Jordan? And LeBrina was encouraged, like, yeah, from Jordan. Chloe, now which one? Who do you think? Okay, you're going through something with your son, and then there's this boyfriend you've been dating less than a year. He's big, he's fine, but he's been in your life less than a year. You need to step back for somebody. I'm with LeBrina. She said, yeah, from Jordan. So Jordan can get up out of here. If he can't let this mother nurture the relationship with her son that desperately needs it, he can get on out, as far as I'm concerned. So confessional Chloe tells us that They're still on the stove, but Jordan is on the back burner. So I wrote down, thank God. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. So we have Chloe having lunch with Nico. Y'all, Nico presents as so much younger to me. He's 24, but he has one of those baby faces and he has this demeanor. He's tatted on his neck, but he has this demeanor where he's like, just kind of looking around, just, I don't know. There's something about him that makes you want to just take care of him. I can understand Chloe even when they're going through, even when he was doing a lot with his mouth last week. Chloe just receives him a certain way. And it could be because of the loss of No, I don't know, but there's some fragility that's there. They're at lunch. She says she haven't been out with him. She doesn't really know the 24-year-old him. What do you drink? So he just kind of smiling. She said, order a champagne. I don't know what he got. She ordered some wine. So LeBrina was telling her, just give that mother advice. And that's what Chloe decides to do. She and Nico sit down. You could tell that he was a little anxious of being on camera again. I appreciate the fact that we didn't hear his voice raised. He didn't get up and storm out. None of that. They were having a tough conversation. He was saying that he feels a lot better in his mental. We find out from Chloe, who's crying in the confessional, I didn't know he had something mental going on. Any 20-something-year-old Black man in this country, of course, he has something mental going on. And then to lose a father figure, to lose No, Chloe's husband, his sister's father, of course, he's going to have something going on. So she tells him repeatedly during this conversation that she appreciates him. He is so important to her. She feels guilty for kind of just pushing him aside, not letting him know how important he was to her. She is choked up throughout the scene. Nico is working to not show that he is, he's choked up as well, but he is. I love the fact that they're able to talk to each other. Chloe just spoke to his heart and let him know how important he was to her. And that was needed. So Chloe is in a confessional saying that she had felt like a bad mom. And I just wrote caps, no, you are not. So she just wants her bond back with him. I like the fact that she let LeBrina encourage her to talk to her son. I was reading a lot of comments and some of the people were like, he would have been out of my house in 20 minutes. I'm glad Chloe is moving how she needs to move with her son. This is so important. Nico brings up that they didn't even get a chance to grieve together. So it looks like Chloe threw herself into her work. And the son was, she keeps saying he's being used as a caretaker, but he's saying that that's fine. That's what he needed at this time in his life too. So I'm glad he had his sisters to kind of direct his attention towards something, because with Chloe not even knowing he had mental issues, a lot of our young Black men, they are really struggling. So I'm glad that he's able to get help for what he was going through that hurt him. The loss of his father figure, and then also just he graduated high school. He has a lot of things going on in his life. We find out he has some type of block or anxiety about even going to the studio because he's thinking about No and what would No want him to do. So I can understand that. He needed the conversation, and Chloe needed that conversation as well. So she questions, well, where are you now? He's going to find out he's going to the studio tomorrow. She says whatever support he needs, they're going to get together a game plan, which was my thing last week. I was disappointed he was on screen and they were talking about his career, but kind of not in a positive way. I didn't love that. So we find out from Chloe that, of course, a rapper is not the number one thing she would want her son to be, but she's going to encourage him. A job still will not hurt, even if it's something in that field. I'm not sure what kind of work he could get at the studios, but maybe that's something he could look into. So he got a hug. He got an I love you. He had an apology. I feel like that was amazing between Chloe and Nico. We get Chloe in a confessional saying she doesn't do public fights. She said, I'm a classy woman. And then she makes a joke about, believe it or not, I don't see anything about Chloe that would mean she's not classy. So I guess she's getting a lot of comments because she has a younger man and she's always just turned out the way she's dressed. I love Chloe's spirit and energy, but I guess she gets some negativity over it. So we get Chloe. She's sitting down with Sheniqua. She asks what happens. Sheniqua lies and said Rose energy was off from jump. I don't think Rose energy was off from jump. We hear from Chloe that Rose is just reserved until she gets to know someone, which Sheniqua should be able to expect. We get the replay of MOCA They're both talking about what happened. Chloe is asking when it went left. And Sheniqua was saying when she presented the paperwork, she said that wasn't even directed at Ro. That was for Latorria. But why was she bringing all this energy to Latorria, who is very well within her rights to say she doesn't know her, and it has been 2015 based on the paperwork that she showed. So that's why we didn't understand why she was mad. And we did think it was weird. Ro in particular, who expressed that. So we get confessional Ro telling us that she can't promise that people will get the new Ro if someone waves hands in her face again and calls her out her name, call her the B word. And I can't disagree with her. I have to agree. Sheniqua was in here joking. I didn't really like that. She just being too friendly and like, you've insulted your friend and now y'all gonna kind of make it up. You don't know these ladies to be in here like this, especially in public. So we hear from Ro that she felt like out of the group, Latorria is a little softer. And so as Sheniqua was going at her, she just felt like, okay, now we're crossing the line into bullying. And we know that with what Ro went through with Sophia, this was a trigger for her. Sheniqua does something I can't stand. Okay, I have triggers too. I don't care about this lady's triggers. She didn't have to be there to be triggered. She introduced herself into something and then was invited again by Chloe, and it went left. So apologize and please move on. But of course, they have to sit down and talk about it first. So Ro is correctly pointing out that her saying that something is weird, bringing paperwork from all those years ago, that's weird, is different than calling her a B. Sheniqua does agree to that. I think that's a fair distinction. And just like with Ro talking about her wig, you make a choice to have a Temu wig. Sheniqua said it's not a wig. Okay, that's fine. Making fun of somebody's body type, she called Ro big. And then we find out she's saying, well, me being 6 feet tall and being skinny and being called olive oil, I was bullied. I have triggers. Again, Sheniqua, you brought this on yourself. So I can see why why Ro would see Latorria as somebody that is soft and that you need to take care of. Because Latorria did, as soon as that jumped off, she gathered her stuff together and she got out of there. I agree with that. I just didn't agree with her leaving Ro in the line of fire. Who was there defending her? I think Latorria, because we've seen her talk to her therapist and even talk to the ladies, and she says that in the past she was perceived as she's bigger, she's darker. People are going to act like, oh, they're so scared just because she's talking to them. So she would actually have to be extra soft and extra laid back and not let people get upset and excited. I think that's just an act that people do to be able to continually call Black women aggressive. I think people are faking when they're so scared. If they're that scared, why are people always flying up in Black women's faces? I don't buy it. But that stereotype, people have latched onto it. It's something that we're not able to get away from. And there are those friends that will jump up and handle the situation. It may start out verbally, but other things can happen. So I didn't like Chloe bringing Sheniqua around and then having that happen. So we find out being snubbed is a trigger for Sheniqua. Again, she brought that on herself. So that being snubbed is a trigger. That's why she wanted to prove that she knew Latorria so bad. We already know Latorria is not feeling that. I'm actually with Latorria. Find out Ro doesn't really believe in second chances either, but her sit down with Sheniqua is making her feel like I could give her another chance. I would advise to move on. But it's a group of 6. They'll decide whether they want an interloper in the midst of the group, especially one that can pop off like that. We get Sheniqua saying that this is I don't know if she used the word sincere, but humbly. I humbly apologize. So that I don't hear people doing that a lot. I appreciate her doing that because I feel like Ro was owed an apology. Can't remember if Ro apologized back to her. She might have. And she lets her know that she's not really for second chances. She's considering it in this instance. She's just afraid that she can let someone back into her orbit and they will hurt her again. So you might get a one and done with Ro. She's working on not doing that. She wants to extend second chances, but I can understand that as a way to put your guard up. So she said that is why she's guarded. So Sheniqua's piggybacking. Me too. That's why I'm guarded too. So we find out from Ro. Ro has lived a life, y'all. You remember she was saying about Sophia's father, and when she lived in Miami, she said she's been robbed, all types of stuff. I'd like to hear some of those Ro stories. There's a lot going on. So you got to be careful bringing any and everybody around. Everyone has their triggers. Everyone has their background. Chloe, that was a wrong move. I'm glad Chloe is sorry about it. So Rose used to cutting people off. Chloe, of course, is going to try to mediate. She has one of those spirits. I'm glad that Latorria didn't come to this one, at least, and more of the ladies did not come. I think the three of them there, the two that had the actual words and where it could have even went to something else, I'm glad it was only them that were talking. So she humbly apologized. And then she says, now, will you let up off my wig? I don't know. The wig's an easy target. Is it a wig? I don't know. You know what they're asking about Sheniqua. I don't know. Is it a wig, Sheniqua? It doesn't matter if it's a wig. But again, that's light shade. This woman didn't say anything to you about your body type. She didn't call you any of those names that would have triggered you. So we'll see what happens with that. And we feel, I feel like Ro has grown as a person. She feels like she's grown as a person because she told us she used to just, she said she's an East Coast girl. You know how we're raised. I'm an East Coast girl as well, but I wouldn't have gotten loud like that. I just, I have my own way of protecting myself and others. But that was dangerous for Sheniqua to come in there with that. Chloe wants to get a drink. She said they need a cocktail. Rose says, I'm not drinking today. I agree. I don't drink with people I don't trust like that either. And I think you should always keep you don't have to be out here sloppy. If they want to go drink for drink, they go drink for drink. But Rose says she's not drinking today. Chloe asks why. Okay, Chloe, you're doing too much. So they offer her some juice. Good thing Muneera wasn't there. She wouldn't have got on it. Yeah, that wig it is an easy target. I still can't figure it out. I'm one of these people. You'd have to tell me. I don't know. So that was it was the end of the episode. That was pretty good. It was a pretty good episode. Again, I don't give a lot of 10s. I have to give it a 10 because we got to see from every single lady the event that they were planning. Latorria honoring two of the ladies out of the group, Elena and Ro, that really touched them. The scene with LeBrina and Chloe, the fact that LeBrina and the way she is with her teen son influenced Chloe to be able to have that sit down with Nico. That was such a special scene, such an important scene. We get to see Nico wanting to pick back up on his dreams, go to a studio. Chloe offering him that support as a rapper, but encouraging him there are other things you need to do to have plan in place. He said something about, I don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse. There's so many more careers he could have behind the scenes. He could be a writer. They make a lot of money writing. Engineers, sound engineers, there's still things he could do to support his own creativity and be around it. So that was an important scene. The ladies, we got to see them pull together, kind of rally around each other when they explained everything that had happened in MOCA. I like that Ro acknowledged this is a Black establishment. This is these 4 Black men's business. That's why she didn't jump up and beat the brakes off Sheniqua. And it's a new her. And she didn't even know that she's getting recognized and honored for trailblazing in her city. What would she look like jumping up fighting? Someone that's brought there and had no business there. You're behind the scenes in these people inner circle and they're just building a stronger relationship. And then you come in here and do this, Sheniqua? Chloe, we don't want it. We don't want to see it. So this is a good episode. I'll go ahead and give it a 10. The previews, we see that Latorria is wanting a relationship. She's open to it. And LeBrina's offering up one of her cowboys. So, okay, LeBrina, everyone needs a friend like LeBrina with that ranch. I saw a spread somewhere. It might have been at Essence or Ebony, one of the digital things. But people are acting like the cowboy card and all that is a trend. It's not a trend. There's a lot of them out there, y'all. I live in North Carolina. The Panthers aren't my team, but they have one cute boy, Javier Leggett. He is so country. He'll have that hat on when he gives his interviews. He's just adorable. I love a Black cowboy. So LeBrina has something to offer up. She's going to help Latorria. Latorria needs no help. Latorria just seemed like she's kind of laid back, which stay laid back, Latorria. Don't let these people get you out here desperate and flying up in these men faces. So we get Ro and her mini-me talking. She is asking Sophia, are you ready for me to start dating? And Sophia's giving one of those teen daughter looks. Y'all have seen it. I used to give those looks. I don't know how the mothers put up with her, but Sophia's, there's a lot in that look. No, she's not ready for you to start dating, but she know you're going to start anyway. And anybody's going to get a hard time. So they're going to have to win over Sophia. And then, Lord, Chloe and Ro, why are y'all showing us a pregnancy test? Is this some type joke, or y'all putting on a Tyler Perry play? Please don't go in this direction. Get a pregnancy test and you just telling your daughter that you get ready to start dating. Come on. This was really good. Roche Rain, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in, leaving a comment. I appreciate it. That was the heart and hustle. I like we got to see Ro at work too. Yes, this is what we want to see, Roche Rain. I like the fact, that was another thing I love about this show, that I knew that we were going to get to see the ladies in their element, because it is 6 ladies, these young women. Some of the younger ones, I think, Latorria, LeBrina, they're in their 30s. Elena's young too. Muneera, they're probably 40. Everybody's young. Chloe's probably 44. Chloe, are you the oldest? I'm not sure. But I like the fact that we see the personal stuff. If you're living, you're going to have personal stuff that goes on. Some of it might get a bit messy, but we get to see them in their element. So we get to see Ro at work. We get to see Latorria planning something. I want to see a Chloe event. Chloe looked like she plans the stuff in at some events. When they were at Latoria's event, she was running around, and Latorria, Chloe, I feel like she takes care of people. She said, "Did you even eat yet?" And she's running around like, I can't eat at my events. I'm in a zone. Chloe's like, I know it. Me too. So we're going to see all of them doing different things. We saw a little bit with Muneera in the earlier episode. She was doing some of her content, taking pictures with the family. LeBrina, we have seen at my favorite location on any series right now, that ranch, the Will and LeBrina Ranch. Now, can we see some cowboys? Bring some cowboys out for Latorria and for Ro. So we will see. This is an excellent, excellent series. Is it a series? Yeah, it's a series, because we're getting an episode a week. They skipped last week. So for whatever reason, was it for the holiday? But came back with a 10 out of 10. I love it. If you haven't watched it yet, it's worth watching. They kind of try to resolve what happened at MOCA. It's going to be an underlying current because Sheniqua still wants in. Don't let her do it. I mean, she gave the humble apology. She was very cordial. If you see her out in the event, you can say that you kind of know her. Now, Latorria, because that's her trigger, you kind of know her. But she certainly wouldn't be someone that I'm looking to be close to. I love that we were seeing more of Elena and her mother and that storyline, because we need to know more about what's going on with Elena, Josh, the mother. The mother said something strange to Elena, and Elena kind of corrected it right there. And the mother was like, well, sometimes you go through things that make you stronger, one of those things. And Elena was like, I don't really like that. I agree with that too. You're not just living your life to make you stronger. So I like the fact that Elena she's appearing buttoned up, trying to appear perfect. We know there's something under the surface, and she's just giving us breadcrumbs as we go along. So that is important to this series too. This was a pretty good episode, a great episode, actually. I went ahead and gave it a 10. So if you are not already a subscriber at Sandra P's Gen Extra, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and I'll do my weekly reviews on Heart and Hustle Houston. I had an excellent live last night, I was told, and I could tell it was going well during it. It was the Unforgotten Catfish documentary over on Netflix. If you haven't watched that, please go in and watch that, and then go back and watch my live. It was really good. So there's a lot of stuff out there to watch that trigger important conversations. We can also have fun conversations with a lot of this stuff too. So it was a pretty good episode. And I thank you for joining me. So click the like button, subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you in these YouTube streets. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.